one of the senior faculty member in Amravati University. And it is really an honor and pleasure for all of us to have him here on this platform where he will share his valuable insight. While going through his profile, I have seen that how vast teaching and research experience
I
of
hope I am audible.
Atique Ahmed sir is there. Yes, sir. So basically, he is professor and head of computer science department at Amravati University. Also, director of Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. His academic qualification is PhD Computer Science, ME Computer Science, then BE Computer Science and Engineering, and MBA Human Resource Development, Human Resource Management, and LLB. His area of interest is artificial intelligence, soft computing, medical image processing. He has successfully guided two MPhil students and 15 students of PhD, and 3 students currently are undergoing under his able guidance. He has published 16 international papers, 17 in national conference, 9 in national journals, and 18 in national conference, and all total 48 Scopus Index publication is there. He has 3 granted patent and 7 published patent, Indian Patent Journal. Then he has 5 copyrights. As also, he has been an assessor of NBA and NAC and trainer. He has visited Greece. He has published 2 books and has completed 2 major research projects of more than 1 crore rupees. He has successfully conducted 8 Atal Academy sponsored online program, and also have attended 52 programs, and he has also designed curriculum as a member of academic council, chairman of BOS, member of RRC, then member of faculty of engineering and technology, member of BOS of IT, member of BOS of biomedical engineering, then member of board of studies computer science. He has also chaired many sessions, has also worked as an vice chancellor expert, subject experts for the recruitment of the faculty members in the affiliated colleges, and has also presented 9 papers in international conference. So it is really an honor and pleasure to have such a learned person in the field of computer science here in this platform of NEP orientation sensitization course. So again, I welcome Professor Atique sir,
Thank
and I
you,
would
sir.
now request him to take over the session. Before that, sir, we don't allow the participant to mute themselves. So, if some have the queries, they will raise their hand, and you can unmute them, sir.
All right, sir.
Okay, you have been
Thank you
made
very
a
much, sir.
co-host.
I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are audible. Your video is also very much clear, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And I should say thanks for the opportunity, first of all, to the UGC, MMTC, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University. And thanks for a wonderful introduction, right? Actually, I am an ordinary teacher, that is enough, right? I am into teaching since 1990. So 34 long years I have put into teaching. So I'll not be rather deliberating certain things which you feel that completely new, but I'll try my level best to share certain ideas with you. So I don't claim that there will be some sort of teaching will take place. Rather, I'll share whatever knowledge I have acquired during past, you can say 30 odd years, right? So with this, I think I will start my deliberation. Actually, the topic which has been assigned to me is, as a matter of fact, I'll be touching upon 2 different aspects. One is the Bloom's taxonomy and how we can use Bloom's, you can say, for teaching, assessment, and evaluation. So even though the taxonomy you must have heard about, but we will be having some different, you can say, treatment to same thing, right? And at the end, what we will do, that is, we will have some hands-on on certain tools. So my focal point is that is how we can make, you can say, assessment more effective. That is what we are going to discuss maybe in next session or whatever time which has been allotted to me, right? So I will share my screen. Any one of you, just you have to confirm whether it is visible or not, right? I hope it is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, great. So this is what is there on the agenda. That is, uh, today we'll be having a look at Bloom's taxonomy and how we can use Bloom's taxonomy for technology enabled, maybe teaching, learning, and assessment. So we will have a holistic view. That is how we can adopt this particular Bloom's taxonomy, okay, for all these three purposes. Okay, that is what is there. That is what is the crust of the story, right? So these are the learning objectives. That is wherein I have listed out certain things, and we will go. And as Sir has said, that is, if you feel like asking certain things, you can raise your hand, okay, and then we can have discussion at any point of time. Okay, so I have identified, that is, we will start with what is the psychology of learning and instruction, and then we'll go ahead with what is a teaching learning process typically. Intentionally, I have kept these things in my slides. The idea behind putting all these fundamental is you may find little bit, you can say, boring, or some of you may feel that it is, sir, everybody know. But many times we get confused in terminologies, and many times we use those things very casually. But as a teacher, actually, we should know all these things, fundamental things. Okay, then and then we can understand, that is how the student assessment and other things takes place. So what are the various factors influencing learning? That is, again, we will have a look at. And what are the various modes of learning, and what is transfer of learning, wherein we will discuss what is positive transfer, negative transfer, or zero transfer. So all these aspects we will touch upon. And then as I said, that is, my focal point is assessment. So what is assessment, and what is the standard model for assessment, what is called as the SAMR model. And some of the tool you may be using in your day-to-day life, for example, Google Form and all. But we will touch certain tools which complies to SAMR model, and which are very effective and very handy to use, right? So technology enabled assessment tools, wherein we will have hands-on on 4 or 5 tools, right? Those tools I have listed out here, that is hot potatoes, okay, Socrative, ClassKick, NetLogo, and so on, right? So this is what is there on the agenda, right? Let's move ahead with the very first topic, that is the psychological learning. Okay, so there are various terminologies normally we toss very casually, but we will invest some quality time, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, to understand what these terminologies are all about, right? So it is the basics of teachers need to be aware. That is what I feel, and that's why I've kept it intentionally. So pedagogy, you must have heard. Most of us, we use in our day-to-day life. Okay, whatever we do in the classroom is nothing but the pedagogy, right? So on the parallel line, we will just have a look at andragogy, teaching. Again, teaching, training, and learning we use many times interchangeably, right? But there is a thin demarcation line between these, right? तो इसको थोड़ा सा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. If I use English as well as Hindi, I hope everybody will be comfortable with, right? So I'll use in between Hindi as well, right? If you allow me. Otherwise, if you ask me to deliver in English, no issue, right? So we will go ahead with the very first thing is the pedagogy. So it is a method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept. So as I said, that is, whatever we do in the classroom is nothing but the pedagogy. And the pedagogy, it varies from teacher to teacher, I should say. For example, a topic which I am teaching, okay, and the same topic which is again being taught by somebody else, okay, so we may have two different pedagogies for that, right? So it is the discipline that deals with the theory and practice of education. That's why it is concerned, or that is how best you can teach. Okay, so many times we use analogies, many times we use examples to teach a student. So all those things falls under the category of pedagogy, right? And how it has been defined by the you can say the father of this particular thing is the John Herbert, right? Who is the father of conceptualization of pedagogy. He call it as a theory of education, right? It is the theory of education, right? To put it in a, you can say, simpler perspective, it is nothing but the method of teaching, I should say, in a very straightforward words, right? So pedagogy again, it requires 5 steps. It is a methodical process, right? Which most of us we follow in our day-to-day classroom teaching. That is, you prepare for the lecture preparation, then you present. Okay, right now let's say I have prepared for this session and now I am presenting. Okay, and many times we try to associate certain things. Association means we try to create certain analogy to explain a particular concept. So that is association. Okay, but most of us, if you look at the last two aspects wherein generalization and application is there, okay, we fail to demonstrate that. Most of us, I should say. Okay, we keep ourselves to up to 1 to 3 level only. Okay, and we feel that our job is all done, but as a matter of fact, this is not all done. Okay, you being a teacher, actually you must try to explain the student how this particular concept can be generalized. Okay, and how it can be applied in a real life scenario, right? So generalization and application, particularly in case of, you can say, science and technology, it is of utmost important, right? So but most of us we struggle while delivering the concept of generalization and application, right? And many times we are casual. Say, for example, some of you must be from mathematics, okay, maybe chemistry, okay, and or physics or any other subject for that purpose. Okay, now if let's say if you go to any engineering syllabus, you will find that the title itself indicate what is expected. For example, in engineering, normally they have subject nomenclature as applied mathematics, applied physics, applied chemistry, right? But we teach the concept of physics, chemistry, or mathematics for that purpose, but we ignore how it can be uh, uh, mm, applied in a real life scenario, right? And that is what is the where the lacuna lies, right? So we need to understand that is the when it comes to, you can say, the pedagogy. Okay, you have to go for all these steps very scrupulously, right? Now let's move ahead. The another term which I have tossed it on the slide is the andragogy, right? Andragogy, it is a method and practice of teaching adult learners. Now, if you look at the input which is normally there in senior colleges, right? We have students who have acquired the age of 18 years or so, right? 17 or 18 years or so. So they are all adult learners. So they are not small kids, right? So adult learning, it was very first time it was tossed by the German educator Alexander Kapp in 1833. And that's why I thought that it is very important to understand this concept. It is the understanding theory and supporting practice of a lifelong education of adults. So you cannot treat them as small kids, right? So basically, now again, one more thing we need to understand as a teacher, that is, when I used to teach in 1990s, the approach was altogether different. Now I am not teaching, I should say, even though in a UG or a PG class, I am not basically teaching. My role has changed from a teacher to a facilitator. The reason is pretty simple. The students are equipped with, I should say, thousands of tools. Okay. So if you toss certain thing in the class, which I used to do in 1990s, कई बार मैं बच्चों का अटेंशन ये करने के लिए बोलता था कि भाई देखिए, ये जो मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, यू प्लीज पे अटेंशन टू दिस, बिकॉज वट एवर आई एम रेफरिंग टू, ये आपको इतना सिंप्लीफाइड कंसेप्ट कोई बुक में नहीं मिलेगा, ठीक है ना? क्योंकि वो जमाना वो था कि जब कंप्यूटर साइंस की बुक्स नहीं हुआ करती, ठीक है ना, आउट ऑफ प्रिंट हुआ करती थी, कहीं से जेरोक्स मिल गई, उसमें से पढ़ लिया, कहीं पे कोई सब्जेक्ट कच्चा मिल गया, कोई टॉपिक मिल गया, तो वहां से डिलीवर कर रहे हैं। तो so as to attract the student, I used to toss those types of statement in the class. लेकिन आज मैं अगर बोलता हूँ तो स्टूडेंट फट से खड़ा हो जाएगा, बोलेगा सर आप कौन सी बुक की बात कर रहे हैं, राइट? यू आर टॉकिंग which particular book? Let's say I say Peterson and Silver Shards. Okay, he will come up within no time. Okay, sir, this is the PDF. You can refer to this, right? So what I intend to say is, being a teacher, our role is now more challenging compared with the earlier days, you know, wherein we used to have certain monopolies and so on, right? कि भाई ये सब्जेक्ट ये सर अच्छा पढ़ाते हैं, ठीक है, अब वैसा नहीं है. So there are threats to everybody's life, and this technology has definitely, it has touched our life as a teacher. So what I intend to say is, you being a teacher, you need to change yourself. You have to adapt to these technological tools, okay, for your survival. I am not saying that for your excellence, okay, for your survival, okay. Because if you look at the scenarios, okay, when जब banks में अगर आप देखेंगे core banking आया था, तो there was lot of opposition. People used to say कि यार ये, तो उन्होंने क्या किया फिर, कि जो लोग अडॉप्ट नहीं करना चाहते थे उनको बोला आप भाई वॉलंटरी रिटायरमेंट ले लीजिए, या आपका लमसम जो भी आपका बनता है आपको हम दे देते हैं on this particular day and you move out from the office. Or some of the people, they have opted कि नहीं sir, we will go with the technology, we will undergo certain training, we'll just try to learn. So those who have this second approach, okay, they survive, right? So what I intend to say is, ये दिन हमारे लिए भी दूर नहीं है कि आज से 10 साल बाद डाउन द लाइन इट में हैपन कि आप अगर आईसीटी यूज नहीं कर रहे हो क्लास में, आपके टूल्स यूज नहीं कर रहे हो, तो स्टूडेंट बोलेंगे कि सर नहीं, आई एम सॉरी, राइट? So you have to adapt. What I intend to say is, because you are not teaching nowadays, you are facilitating learning. So your role has changed from a teacher to a facilitator of learning, right? So what is learning, we will just try to have a look at, and what is teaching, again we'll just try to understand in brief. So teaching is defined as an interactive process, okay. It is a dialogue between the teacher and the student, okay, primarily involving classroom, okay, which takes place between a teacher and a student, and occurs during definable activities, okay, thereby resulting in learning. So what is the product of a teaching? When we claim that the teaching takes place, meaning thereby the learning is happening, right? So it is, they go hand in hand, what I intend to say, right? But who is a teacher, right? Teacher is, again, if you look at the characteristics of a good teacher, you will find that the expectations are very high, okay. The creative proficiency of an artist, okay. The teacher should be a man who must have a creative attitude, rather creative proficiency, I am saying. Precise attitude of a scientist, okay, always questioning why not, why this is so, and so on, trying to find answers to new questions and so on, and perfected skills of a craftsman, right? So even though these three small statements are there, but they themselves are of, you can say, a complete, it is an ocean, right? So from the teacher, basically the expectations, that's why I said they are very high, right? Now let us look at training, another term which again we normally toss in case of you can say psychological learning is training. We use these terms interchangeably. Many times we put a slash in between, but they are altogether different. So training is usually, it is an organized activity aimed at imparting information and or instruction to improve the recipient's performance or to help him or her to attain a required level of knowledge or skill. Now here we are focusing on knowledge or skills, right? For example, आपको फोर व्हीलर ड्राइव करना सीखनी है, तो यू नेवर गो टू एन इंस्टीट्यूशन, नॉर्मली यू अप्रोच अ ट्रेनिंग सेंटर, right? Why it is called training center? Because it is of a shorter duration, and wherein you have been taught that is how to drive. So it is skill which matters. So it is basically of a shorter duration, right? How does it differ from teaching? It is a shorter duration, whereas teaching is a longer duration, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and so on. It is expected to give immediate result. That is, after completion of that training, you should be able to drive the car. Okay, immediate result. Okay, and what has happened actually, if you dig it little bit at a greater detail, you will find that this training, it has very first time tossed during World War II. So what has happened those days? Okay, there were shortage of soldiers and so on. Okay, so what has happened? The various countries, they have they have recruited their ordinary citizens. They have trained them, okay, on various war front equipment, and they have asked them to fight. Okay, so this is actually, this was the need at that point of time, and that's why the training was it happens during the World War II, right? Now the another terminology which we use again very casually is learning. So learning is basically a relatively permanent change in behavior. When we say somebody is learning, his behavior is changing from the initial behavior to some delta improvement is there. Okay. So resulting from reinforced practice, and it is a process as well as a product. Why I'm saying process as a product, you undergo 3 years course, which is a process. Okay. One input student has been assigned to you. Okay. Who has acquired some HSC or SSC or whatever, right? Some qualification prerequisite he or she has satisfied. Now you are transforming that student through a process to a product. Okay. अब प्रोडक्ट जो निकल रहा है आपका, इसको व्हाई वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज अ प्रोडक्ट, क्योंकि इसमें जब ये बंदा इंडस्ट्री में जाता है तो देन इट इज बीइंग टेस्टेड कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग, राइट? So whether something is wrong in the process, then again you take feedback and just modify your curriculum or your processes and so on. So it is the nature or tendency of human being, right? And it is the process of mental development. So normally we feel that the training or the learning takes place everywhere. Okay, it is not in the classroom only, right? So and again it is many times positive as well as negative. Okay, it is both positive and negative, right? And it is individual in nature. Okay, and learning is once again a creative, compel you to become a critical thinker, right? So it is learning, right? So now if you look at the holistic view of a basic teaching model, right, what is there? There is a instructional objectives. Now if you look at my session delivery, I have the very first slide which I have after the title slide, it was the objectives of this particular session, right? In the parallel line, if a particular student undergoes a particular course, okay, he or she has been given certain objectives. Well, these are the instructional objectives. When you undertake this particular course, you will learn these many things, okay? And then you have an entering behavior, okay? And then you have instructional procedures, okay, wherein the teaching learning will take place. And then at the end, you have performance assessment. So this is the last block, okay, wherein we will be having a detailed look, that is how assessment is to be done. और NEP के लाइट्स में अगर आप देखेंगे तो स्किल कंपोनेंट की अपन कैसे, व्हेन इट कम्स टू असेसमेंट, नॉर्मली आप सिलेबस बना लेते हैं, ठीक है, आपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स डिफाइन कर लिए, COs POs सब हो गया आपका, लेकिन व्हेन इट कम्स टू असेसमेंट, क्योंकि ये मैपिंग प्रॉपर होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना? इफ द CO POs आर नॉट मैप प्रॉपरली, okay, then they normally, the NAC or NBA assessment team, they normally ask for your question paper, and simply going through your question paper, they realize that what level of blooms you have achieved in your objectives, है ना? तो इधर आप जब objectives लिखते हैं तो अपन we talk about all the 6 levels of blooms, है ना, जब लिखते हैं तो, लेकिन when it comes to assessment, okay, we struggle again between 1 2 and 3, okay, 4 5 and 6, okay, we normally ignore. तो वो देखेंगे, थोड़ा सा उस पर डिटेल में देखेंगे, बट बिफोर दैट एक्चुअली देर इज अगेन नो वन मेथड विच यू कैन क्लेम दैट, सॉरी, there is, whether my slides are visible? I'm sorry, somebody has to confirm whether you can see the slides, sir. Any one of you? Hello? I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
And the slides are visible to you? Hello? Okay, great. Okay. Right. So what we are discussing about, that is 1,000 teacher and 1,000. This is a typical Chinese proverb, right? So no one particular method is best for taking a particular teaching in a particular way, right? So you may be having n number of things, okay, n number of things and n number of methods, okay, for teaching the same concept, right? So let's move ahead with, as I said, that these 4 blocks we will have a look at in little bit more detail. The very first one is the instructional objectives, right? So what are instructional objectives? Which are these instructional objectives are those the student should attain upon completion of a segment of instruction. Okay, when you undertake a particular course meaning there was subject. Okay, normally in NEP terminologies or this new education policy, the course is nothing but a subject, right? So during those 40, 44, 5 hours, okay, what is happening, that is what is expected to be achieved is nothing but the instructional objectives. And then entering behavior is the behavior of the students before the instruction begins, that is at day 0. And then when he or she has undergone the entire course, okay, what he has attained, okay, that will be the entering, you can say the entering behavior, okay, which describes the student's level before instruction begins, okay. And then what we have is, we have the another important aspects, what they call it as the instructional procedures. Now here our role becomes very crucial as a teacher, okay, wherein that is what instructional procedure is to be adopted for transforming the student or for achieving the instructional objectives, that is there. And the last block, as I have told you, is the performance assessment. You go for the end semester examination, or maybe nowadays we are coining a new term, what is called as a continuous assessment, है ना. जैसे अब आपको क्या करना है एग्जामिनेशन में, if you want to reduce the exam fever, okay, what we do, we go for a 15 marks assessment after 2 units, then 15 marks after another 2 units, and 10 mark is for attendance, another aspect, and then 60 marks end sem examination. So this is simply so as to reduce the pressure. So what we will try to understand, that is how this performance assessment is to be carried out, right? That we will see. Okay. Now, what are the factors which affects the learning? So there are numerous. Okay. They are all self-explanatory, so I'll not go into the details of what is sensation and perception, what is fatigue and boredom, right? Right. Then what is age and maturation, emotional condition. Okay, so these naturally, because you are not dealing with a machine, you are dealing with a human being, right? A student is nothing but a human being, right? So definitely he will have all these characteristics associated, rather all these factors associated with him or her, right? What are the needs? What are the interests? Okay, what is the motivation? Okay, what we call it as the IQ is nothing but the intelligence, right? Aptitude, attitude. Okay, so and then there are many times some environmental factors which again influence the learning, right? And that's why we choose the premier institutions like IITs and NITs, okay, when it comes to institute selection. Okay, what is new there in those premier institution is nothing but the environment, right? So that environment makes the difference, okay, and that makes many things, rather it opens new possibilities. That is how you can make learning at a jet speed or at the desired speed, right? So what are the modes of learning? Okay. So learning normally, again, there is a myth in most of us mind, that is learning takes place in only classroom, but it is not correct. Okay, so there are various modes of learning. The very first one is learning by observation. If you look at a small kid, okay, he or she basically he learns through observation only. He or she will look at you and simply try to imitate your behavior, right? So learning by imitation and learning by trial and error. Okay, when the small kid simply put his or her first step, okay, what he or she is doing is simply a trial and error. Okay, he'll try to stand up and then take a first step, maybe you will fall down, okay, and then again he or she will attempt, and this is what exactly is the trial and error, right? And learning by insight, which is the highest level, okay, which is the highest level. So all of us, we just try to create an environment in our classroom wherein we can achieve the last one, that is how we can have that insight in the students, right? So that is important modes of learning. Again, many times we feel that the learning takes place in a positive direction only, but again, that is not correct. Okay, so there are 3 types of transfer of learning. One is the positive, and the second one is the negative, and the third one is a zero learning, right? So what is a positive transfer? Which takes place when the learning of a particular task facilitates the learning of another task. What we call it as a cascading, right? If you know A, then if it once you acquire this A skill, then you are keen to go for B or C and so on, right? So that is positive transfer. But on the other hand, if learning a particular task interferes with the learning of a subsequent task, it is called negative learning. ठीक है ना? Okay, so that is again, it happens in reality. And if there is, if learning of a task makes no difference on the student, it is said to be a zero transfer. So wherein you can claim that there is no learning which takes place. Okay, so many times we used to say in the class, there are two possibilities: either you have understood everything or you have not understood anything, right? So that is nothing but what I have narrated just now. That is positive, negative, and zero, right? So all these possibilities are there, but all of us being a teacher, we just try to achieve, you can say, the positive one, right? Positive transfer of learning. Again, there are numerous laws of learning. Okay, we'll not go into the detail. I'll simply read out. Okay, those who are keen, they can later on they can explore these things. That is, the law of readiness is there, law of practice is there, and law of effect is there, right? So many times we toss the question, open-ended question in the class. Okay, when you start a new topic, what is it? You are trying to prepare the student for digesting that new concept, because for you it is not at all new, because you are into teaching. You are teaching the same subject since last 20-25 years. But for student, it is very first time, right? So you need to prepare the student. Okay, and then practice. Okay, by repetitive practice, you will try to teach again and again, maybe with citing certain examples and so on, and the law of effectiveness, right? So these things are there. Now let us go ahead with what is learning. So whenever we claim that the learning takes place, meaning thereby there is a permanent change in behavior of the student, okay, resulting from reinforced practice. Okay, so when a student can do something after instruction, okay, which he could not do before, he is said to have learned. Okay, you are teaching him how to write A, okay, and after maybe one session or one class, okay, if he is able to write A, then you can claim that the student has learned that particular concept, right? So learning refers to change in behavior that result from previous successful behavior in similar situation, right? If one is really learning, one's behavior becomes more effective and adaptive. So these effective and adaptive, one has to understand. If adaptive means which changes with respect to time, okay, than what it used to be before. So he not only learn, okay, he will learn and he will adapt. Okay, so adaptive behavior, this is simply associated with human being, right? We are all very adaptive in nature. Okay, so we may say, for example, right now I'm delivering. Let's say if I'm listening, my behavior will completely change, right? So since I am delivering, my behavior is so we are all we adapt to the environment normally. Okay? And human body, rather human nature, is by default is adaptive in nature, right? Okay. Now, what are the three domains of learning? Okay, this is the building block which I have tried to explain. That is certain fundamental aspects of teaching, learning, and you can say assessment. Okay, now we are moving ahead with that is what are the domains of learning. So there are basically three domains of learning. Okay, this is, I'm not saying basically this is what has been defined by Bloom's. Basically Bloom's taxonomy talks about all these general terminology. So one, the very first domain is the cognitive. Okay, and all of us, if you look at the Indian education system, okay, we give undue importance to this cognitive domain. Okay, wherein we simply test the knowledge and intellectual skills of the student, right? Another important aspect of another rather important domain of learning is feeling, emotions, and attitude. Why this is important? Because you are dealing with human being. Okay, students are nothing but human beings, so they definitely have emotions, okay, and they have attitudes, right? And the third and the most important aspect is the psychomotor. Okay, wherein you have utilizing motor skill and the ability to coordinate them. That is, okay, if you try to club this, okay, and then you claim that some learning is taking place, then and then you can claim that if you are simply playing on cognitive level, okay, that is not all, right? So you have to have all these three. Now, how to incorporate this in our education system, that is what we are going to look at. So teaching learning process, if you look at, so teaching on the top and learning is at the bottom, and in between you have these three domains of learning. Okay, cognitive, okay, that is knowing. Okay, as I said, normally we focus on this, rather we give undue focus on this, we give focus on understanding. Now if you look at the question paper, okay, you will find that the questions of this sort, that is define, explain, okay, what is the meaning of this or what, okay, so problem solving, deriving a formula and application, right? Cognitive. Affective, now this NEP talks about this affective, that is the feeling, wherein we talk about values, okay, value education, right? Attitudes, okay, interest and discipline. And when it comes to, you can say, the skills like say psychomotor, that is by doing, and that's why we are trying to incorporate these in our education system, wherein you are having certain courses which focus on skills, okay, practical skills like say driving, assembling, painting and so on. So even though you are a art student, okay, and let's say if you are very keen to undertake some course in mechanical engineering, that is very much possible. So this NEP has made it possible. Right? Earlier there were hard boundaries, I should say, है ना? तो अभी आपका जो ABC framework है, okay, wherein you have lot of possibilities over there, right? You have practical skills, right? That is skill based is there, value education is there, and undoubtedly, because that is the fundamental block, which is nothing but the cognitive domain, which is definitely there. And when you club all these three, then you claim that, as I said, that the learning is taking place, right? So what is KSA? K basically stands for the knowledge, and S stands for skills, and A stands for attitudes. Okay. So when you are dealing with knowledge, you are dealing with the cognitive domain, in simple word, right? When you are dealing with skill, you are dealing with the psychomotor, right? That is do it yourself, okay, or any sort of thing wherein you actually carry out the experimentation, okay, you are involved in some practical or you can say activity. Affective domain, wherein the attitudes are, right? So this is KSA, right? And then what has happened, now we'll move to, having said that, okay, I have established a fundamental block, that is which was, I hope that we must have invested around 25-30 minutes on that, but that was equally important, right? Now we will move ahead with what is there on the agenda, and that is nothing but the Bloom's taxonomy. ठीक है ना? तो ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी के बारे में जब आप थोड़ा सा देखेंगे, तो ये चीज़ काफ़ी पुरानी है. टैक्सोनॉमी बेसिकली स्टैंड्स फॉर क्लासिफिकेशन. Okay, I am referring to taxonomy, meaning thereby I am referring to classification. So what has happened, आप भी मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे लोग यूनिवर्सिटी सेटअप में काम करते होंगे, ओके, और अपने यहाँ भी कमिटीज बनती हैं नॉर्मली, राइट? सो वी डू हैव कमिटीज, ओके, कमिटी स्ट्रक्चर, okay, and this is the product of a committee which was constituted by one American educational institute, okay, and this fellow, that is the Benjamin Bloom, he was the chairman of that committee, and they have been asked to study the, you can say, the intellectual behavior, okay, and so they have come up with a theory which gradually it has now it is followed worldwide, okay. तो मेरा बोलने का इंटेंशन इतना ही है कि कमिटी अपने यहाँ पे भी 3/2024 होती है या 14/2021 होती है, और हम लोग कैसे काम करते हैं, एंड हाउ डू दे वर्क बेसिकली, राइट? दैट्स व्हाई दे आर डेवलप्ड नेशन, राइट? तो इन्हें कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि अपन इनसे 100 साल पीछे हैं. आई एम नॉट blaming. I feel myself as a part of that system. It is not a we. I am not saying that our system is completely rubbish or useless. It is nothing like that. But this point I am specifically focusing on is, that is, how do they work, right? That one has to understand. So Bloom headed a group of educational psychologists who developed a classification of levels of intellectual behavior, which is important in learning. And that was the task which has been assigned to them. Okay. And he has come up with a tool for instructor, okay, which is popularly known as Bloom's taxonomy, with writing learning outcomes. ओके देखिए अब ऑब्जेक्टिव्स देखिए राइटिंग लर्निंग आउटकम्स करिकुलम प्लानिंग कंटेंट डिलीवरी एज वेल एज असेसमेंट सो इट इज फ्रॉम स्टार्ट टू फिनिश इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग है ना इफ यू लुक एट एनी एजुकेशनल सिस्टम this is what exactly we do okay we go for the learning outcome first okay which is there on the very first slide when I started. Okay, so you have well-defined learning outcomes. Then you plan the curriculum. You plan exactly what you intend to deliver. Then you deliver it. Okay, curriculum planning, then content delivery. After delivery, what happens is normally we have assessment. Okay, right now you are undergoing this NEP orientation sensitization. एंड में क्या रहेगा आपका असेसमेंट रहेगा वेरिंग यू विल बी गिवन सम 20 odd questions or maybe 50 odd questions objective type and you have been asked to respond them and accordingly you will be graded. So it is very much there everywhere, whether it is short-term course or orientation or sensitization or any other program. Or if you look at the student point of view, so this is the structure and this is very structured, right? And this tool talks about everything. That's why I'm saying it covers from scratch to finish everything, right? And that is why this is so important, right? And it has been adopted worldwide, right? So what is it? It is also called as the taxonomy of learning objects, जिसको अपन बोलते हैं COs, POs, right? लेकिन होता क्या है कि यहाँ पे again, as I have told you, that is he has given. We will have a look at all those 6 level, but normally we focus on bottom 1 to 3. Okay, when it comes to 4, 5, 6, again we struggle. Okay, while delivering we struggle, while you can say teaching we struggle, while you can say assessment we struggle, and so on so forth. Right. So what is it? It is a hierarchical, because one, it is a layered approach. Okay, one after another, which means that the learning at higher level depends upon having attained prerequisite knowledge and skills at the lower level. ठीक है ना? तो आप नॉलेज ही नहीं है आपके पास में तो आप नेचुरली सेकंड लेवल पे नहीं जाएंगे, थर्ड पे नहीं जा पाएंगे, सिक्स लेवल तो बहुत दूर रहा, ठीक है ना? तो it is in that way, right? It is in that way, right? So these are the 6 level which he has identified. The bottom most level is the knowledge level, and this is where we normally focus on. Okay, knowledge. Okay, then you have comprehension. Okay, then you have application. At max we go for this application. Analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, normally these things are ignored. Okay, when it comes to even delivery or you can say evaluation or whatever, right? So if you look at that structured process, okay, we normally play with the bottom 3. Okay, the upper 3s are normally ignored basically, but that's why our student they fail, right? When they go to industry, okay, the industry people they say कि सर का knowledge है, सब है, comprehension है, लेकिन ये application के आगे तो कुछ नहीं कर पाता है, क्योंकि he has been trained for that particular, he has not been trained, I should say, for that particular purpose. He has not been exposed. That is how it is to be applied in real life scenario and so on, right? So Bloom's level, each level has a list of action verb. अब देखिए ये बड़ा सिंपल है कि आप जब पेपर सेट करते हैं तो we should use these keywords. These are called as the keywords of Bloom's keyword, right? So each level he has defined certain action verbs to identify the type of cognitive activity being performed by the student. Now I will not. That's why I said कि भाई I have invested some time on telling you what is cognitive, psychomotor, and 3 domains of learning, right? Because those things will come here, right? So you have to have that action verbs. That is, remember is the lowest level. Okay, using action verbs such as memorize, reproduce, or recognize facts and terms. Now, if you look at your question paper, just see whether how many of these types of keywords appears in the question paper. So each one step builds on the one below, requiring higher level of thinking. That's why I said कि भाई हर जगह आपको एक level up जाना है, ठीक है ना? So these are the Bloom's level. Now, if you look at these skills, okay, which I have listed out here on the left hand side, that is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So this is basically, and if you look at almost when you say, कि भाई define, okay, or explain, or narrate, okay, then you are struggling. You are dealing with this, the lowest level, that is the knowledge level, and we focus on this: identify, describe, name, label, recognize, reproduce, follow, right? But when it comes to summarize, convert, how many questions we have in our question paper wherein you have defend, or paraphrase, or interpret, or give examples? Normally, hardly few, I should say. I am not saying that it is not at all there, but we go up to these three level only. That is build, make, construct, model, predict, prepare, and so on. Now compare, contrast, okay, break down, distinguish, select, separate, or categorize, generalize, reconstruct. I have never ever seen, okay, I have been into, I am into teaching, but even I myself have never used keywords like appraise, critic, okay, judge, justify. Okay, justify again we use sometimes, but very casually. Okay, and we normally we don't evaluate the paper from that perspective. ठीक है ना? Argue, support. So these keywords are of utmost importance, which is at the highest level. ठीक है ना? तो अब इसको अपन कैसे रियल लाइफ में कैसे यूज करेंगे? यूजिंग ब्लूम्स लेवल इन योर डे टू डे लाइफ. ओके, so you have to have these action verbs, okay, to write the learning outcomes, what we call it as the COs or POs, okay, and then you have to map these Bloom's level to structure course content, that is curriculum mapping. है ना? यूनिट 1 में आपका CO1, CO2, PO1, PO2, whatever. I use Bloom's to assess and measure. This is the third point we will have a detailed look at. That is how to use Bloom's to assess oblique measure student progress. ठीक है ना? तो असेसमेंट के लिए अपन देखेंगे और उसमें अपन कुछ टूल्स भी आज देखेंगे. यहाँ पे कुछ आपको मैं लाइव टूल्स यहाँ पे डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करके बताऊँ. ठीक है? Now, again, there are certain analyze, evaluate, create. Okay, so we ignore these. Okay? I am not saying that it is completely ignored, but we normally avoid this because this makes your job little bit tougher as a evaluator, as a even as a teacher, I should say, when you deliver in the class, right? So we never go to that level, and that's why we skip those words, right? Now, let us go ahead with you can say if you look at the bottom, that is the knowledge level, that is the most easiest thing to do, right? Because knowledge is the most easy. This is the fact, okay. Newton's whatever rule you are talking about, 1, 2, 3, and we never say that is how this rule is basically applied in the real life scenario. What are the application areas and so on, right? Then what has happened? This proposal which has been given by Bloom, Benjamin Bloom, his student, that is David Carthol, and a few more, they have taken it further and what is called as the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So what they have done, basically they have make small changes, and those changes are actually right now whatever we are practicing in our education system is the revised Bloom's taxonomy, right? So what they did, changing the names in the 6 categories from noun to a verb forms, okay, and then evaluate as the 5th level and create to the top level, okay. So they have simply interchanged evaluate and create, okay, 5th and 6th level. The rest of the levels are as it is, and the another change what they have made is they have changed the categories from noun to verb. So it is more relevant and you can say appropriate. So again, you have differentiate between what is knowing what and knowing how, right? That's the mantra behind this revised Bloom's taxonomy, and this is what is the revised Bloom's taxonomy, wherein you have remember. Now here we were earlier we were having knowledge, right? So that knowledge has been transformed to a action verb called remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate and create. तो ये जो दोनों लेवल है इनको यहाँ पे इन्होंने इंटरचेंज किया. Earlier in Bloom's original taxonomy, it was create was here and the evaluate was the outermost, right? So that has been interchanged and they have been, the words have been transformed to into verbs, right? Noun has been transferred to verbs, right? That is the only change they have carried out, right? So again, when it comes to knowledge level, you have conceptual knowledge, you have procedural knowledge, okay, and so on. Okay, I'll not go into the details of those things. Again, there is one more taxonomy, what is called as the Crothol's taxonomy, okay, wherein all those again levels are there. But now it has been, it talks about the affective domain. Earlier we were talking about the Bloom's level, okay, that is the cognitive domain. Now this is the affective domain, right? So receiving, responding, okay, the behavior, right, valuing, organization, and characterization. These are the 5 levels of you can say affective domains of Crothol's level. Okay, we'll not go into the details. Again, how to incorporate this, that is again a separate topic which can be uh, taught in or delivered in a complete session, right? So we'll not go into that. Let us come back to, so I have tossed 3 taxonomies. The very first one was Bloom's taxonomy, then the second one was revised Bloom's taxonomy, and the third one was the Crothol's taxonomy. Right, now let us go back to our original, that is the Bloom's taxonomy, and the topic which I am planning to cover in the time whatever has been left is to, that is how to use Bloom's taxonomy to assessment or to assess, right? So for assessment, normally we go for various types of questions. Okay, so let's say if you are designing what should I say, MCQ sort of question or multiple choice question. Okay, so meaning thereby you are dealing with remember or the Bloom's level 1, that is the knowledge level, okay, or the understanding level in revised Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, summarize an article, again understand, okay, Bloom's level 2, analyze case study, analyzing Bloom's level 4, and then create a spreadsheet. Now I am talking about creating a spreadsheet. I am referring to the highest level, that is the 6th level. Okay, now just see, look at any of the question paper, last year's question paper, see how many questions are there on creating something, right? So why it is so, again we need to dig the problem, why this assessment is a major bottleneck when it comes to education. Okay, so naturally we are having certain problems in our education system. So the biggest problem with the existing education system is more focus is on certification. Now gradually what is happening, if you understand, earlier it was okay, आज से 10 साल पहले की अगर आप बात करते हैं तो भाई आपके पास में बीई की डिग्री है, एमई की डिग्री है, पीएचडी डिग्री है, आप आ जाइए कल से, ठीक है। या कई बार तो मुझे अच्छी तरह से याद आता है, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द जनरेशन ऑफ माय फादर एंड फोर फादर्स, है ना, उस वक्त में वो बोलते थे कि भाई आपके पास में एक आधा 10th 12th है और या फिर एक आधी बीए की डिग्री है एक आध जस्ट, तो आपको 5 या 10 ऑफर हुआ करते, ठीक है, कि भाई आपको ये डिपार्टमेंट में भी जगह है, वो डिपार्टमेंट में भी है, यू कम एंड ज्वाइन, right? There were no interviews and so on. But what has happened gradually, right, due to the you can say the extraordinary growth of educational institution, okay, the degrees are nowadays, they have lost their credibility, I should say, right? So even though you are let's say if you are talking with a PhD holder, okay, और वो बंदा 2 सेंटेंस अगर आपको ठीक से उसके टॉपिक पे नहीं बता सकता है, तो what is the use of all those? So we give undue focus on certification, undue focus on marks, again that is the biggest you can say the pitfall, right? Fixed passing criteria, actually that should not happen. And if you look at all the premier institutions or institute of national importance, वहाँ पे fixed criteria नहीं होता, teacher will decide, it is not 40% passing for all, right? The teacher will decide what should be the passing criteria for that particular subject, right? Okay, but naturally the integrity of those teachers is highest, okay, because they are highly paid and they are they again the environment that matters, right? And that's why this premier institution normally they don't allow people coming from other institutions, okay, that's why they ask you at least one degree has to be from NITs or IITs and so on, right? What's the reason? The reason is because their culture is different, right? So that lack of qualitative feedback, अभी हमने शुरू किया है, थोड़ा सा फीडबैक पे हम बात करते हैं। फीडबैक लेने से तो हमें बहुत डर लगता है एज ए टीचर, मैं खुद की भी बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं आई एम नॉट सेइंग व्हेन आई एम क्रिटिसाइजिंग, डोंट टेक इट इन दैट वे दैट आई एम क्रिटिसाइजिंग माई सेल्फ एज वेल, राइट? सो देयर इज नो फीडबैक एज सच। या अभी आप में से कितने अगर कुछ लोग ऑनेस्ट होंगे तो वो बोलेंगे कि भाई सर हम रियली पूरा सेशन में हम 40 लेक्चर पढ़ाने के बाद में आखिरी में बच्चों से पूछते हैं कि भाई आपको मेरे पढ़ाने में 2 चीजें क्या अच्छी लगी और 2 चीजें क्या खराब लगी, ठीक है। सो वी आर नॉट ओपन, सी अच्छी तो बच्चे 10 बता देंगे आपको, लेकिन व्हेन इट कम्स टू क्रिटिसिज्म, ओके, नॉर्मली वी डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट इट, राइट। सो वी, बट एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट इट इज सेड दैट your best friends are your best critics, right? So lack of assessment of high level outcomes, जो high level की बात मैं कर रहा हूँ, पांचवी छठी, चौथी पांचवी छठी लेवल की बात कर रहा हूँ। then lack of assessment of complex outcomes, ठीक है। then negligible assessment in the psychomotor and affective domain। तो psychomotor affective पे तो अपन ने कुछ भी नहीं बात किया आज, अपन जो बात कर रहे हैं अपन कॉग्निटिव पर ही फोकस कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना। लेकिन these are equally important, तो इसको अपन ने कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया है। एंड लिबरल मार्किंग, सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या है, अभी तो बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑटोनोमस हो रहे हैं, है ना। व्हाट इज द फिलॉसफी, पहले 6 यूनिट हुआ करती थी, फिर 5 पे आई, अभी 4 है। अभी पता चला 4 में से मैंने 2 ही क्लास में पढ़ाई, अब मैं तो ऑटोनोमस हूँ, पेपर मैं ही सेट कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो मैंने वो 2 यूनिट जो मैंने क्लास में पढ़ाया उसी पे सेट कर दिया पेपर, ठीक है। और उसमें भी लिबरल मार्किंग है ना। थोड़ा सा भी लिखा तो 4 मार्क, 3 मार्क, 2 मार्क, एक कुछ तो भी दे देते हैं अपने को, बच्चे पास कर दे, बट यू आर द बिगेस्ट एनिमी ऑफ दोस स्टूडेंट्स, राइट। So that is again the problem with assessment, lack of assessment culture and language of assessment, है ना। इस पे भी काम हो रहा है एनईपी में। एनईपी इज नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट कि भाई असेसमेंट जो है सिर्फ इंग्लिश में, इंग्लिश इज अ फॉरेन लैंग्वेज फॉर अस, राइट। जैसे अगर आप मेरा देखें तो मैं अप टू 12th आई अंडरवेंट, आई शुड से उर्दू मीडियम, ओके, दैट टू जिला परिषद स्कूल, ठीक है ना। तो लैंग्वेज इज नॉट अ बैरियर, लैंग्वेज इज नॉट नॉलेज बेसिकली, राइट, इट इज नॉट नॉलेज, ठीक है ना। तो लैंग्वेज इज ए मीडियम ऑफ यू कैन से कम्युनिकेशन, ठीक है ना। तो व्हाट इज रॉन्ग इन हैविंग असेसमेंट, ओके, इफ यू लुक एट यू कैन से द डेवलप्ड नेशंस लाइक जापान, और मे बी आप थोड़ा सा इधर भी जाएं, इवन चाइना जाएं, राइट, या फिर थोड़ा सा यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में जाइए, दे लव देयर लैंग्वेज लाइक एनीथिंग, राइट, है ना। तो जैसा ग्रीक लैंग्वेज है, अगर आप ग्रीस कभी आपका जाना हुआ तो देखिए कि आई हैड बीन टू ग्रीस फॉर probably must be around 14-15 days I spent over there। तो उनका पूरा टेक्नोलॉजिकल लिटरेचर भी ग्रीक में, दे लव देयर लैंग्वेज लाइक एनीथिंग, है ना। इंग्लिश नहीं सीखते हैं वो, ठीक है ना। तो you will find only phi, zeta, theta and all those because that Greek seems to be a symbolic language, right? तो आपको इंग्लिश में इवन स्टेशन का नाम भी नहीं मिलेगा। तो this is what is there in the NEP and which makes us our life, I should say, as a teacher more comfortable and enjoying, ठीक है ना। अब थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं, असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन में भी अब जब अपन बात करते हैं तो नॉर्मली वी यूज दीज थिंग्स वेरी कैजुअली, वंस अगेन वी फील दैट एज इफ दे आर वन एंड द सेम, बट there is a small demarcation line between them. Assessment is an ongoing process aimed at understanding and improving student learning. ठीक है ना। What is assessment? It is a process, okay, and what is the objective of assessment? Aimed at understanding and improving students learning, that is how you can improve the students learning, okay, whereas evaluation is a judgment ना। अपन बोलते हैं कई बार कि भाई आदमी ने जजमेंटल नहीं होना चाहिए किसी के बारे में, राइट। सो इवैल्यूएशन इज ए जजमेंट और डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ द क्वालिटी ऑफ ए परफॉर्मेंस, है ना। अब ये जजमेंट कहाँ होगा आपका, असेसमेंट तो आप करते हो एज ए टीचर, वट एवर वी डू असेसमेंट, वी डोंट गो फॉर इवैल्यूएशन, है ना। तो इवैल्यूएशन कहाँ होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप थोड़े से जो लोग काफी सीनियर फैकल्टी होंगे, they must be evaluating the PhD thesis, so that is evaluation, they don't use assessment, okay. There you have to write a evaluation report of the thesis, right. So this is the judgment you are passing whether the candidates deserve the award of degree of PhD in a particular subject, yes or no, right. If yes, okay, you have to justify, you have to give in brief your report, that is why you feel that that this particular degree must be awarded. So evaluation is judgment. In case of our UG and PG student, बच्चा जब इंडस्ट्री में जाता है वहां पे इवैल्यूएशन होता है, okay, there his or her quality will be determined, quality of a performance product or use of a process against a standard, because they have now various standards, है ना। अब स्टैंडर्ड्स में जो फिर बात कर रहे हैं अपन, मैं जो होलिस्टिक पे आपको फिर से ले जाऊंगा एनईपी पर, तो बात जब इवैल्यूएशन की होती है तो अपन फिर से नॉलेज की बात करते हैं, अपन बात करते हैं कि भाई अपन ने क्या पढ़ाया बच्चे को, बच्चा नॉलेज लेवल में कितना अच्छा है। लेकिन मेनी टाइम्स the students those who are having 9.5 as a pointer, they get rejected in placements, corporate placement, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी। जब आप उनसे बात करें तो बताते हैं सर ये बच्चा तो बहुत अच्छा है, यानी टेक्निकली नो डाउट इसकी नॉलेज लेवल बहुत अच्छी है, बट ही इज नॉट फिट इन टू आवर इन्वायरमेंट। तो हम पूछते हैं कि भाई सर क्या बात है, भाई क्या आप क्यों बोल रहे हैं इस तरह से? बट दे से कि भाई ही इज नॉट गुड इन टीम वर्क, ही इज अ वेरी इंट्रोवर्ट किस्म का बंदा है ना। हाउ यू विल कम्युनिकेट विद द क्लाइंट? ठीक है ना, वहां तो उसको ऐसा चलने से नहीं चलेगा, ही हैज टू कम्युनिकेट, right? So they look for certain skills, okay? They have certain standard set of procedures and methods, okay? So they conduct all these psychomotor and all these tests, okay? And then they conclude, well, the person is fit. Even though you are little bit lagging in terms of knowledge, they say it's okay sir, we will train him, or we will train the trainer, okay? And he will acquire those skills and he will be fit for us. But you have to have other things, that is the attitude, learning attitude, right? Okay, so if these things are missing, definitely we don't have any place for these students in the industry, right? So assessment or evaluation, what is assessment? Again, which type of assessment is to be carried out? तो यहाँ एक छोटा सा मैं आपको एक लाइटर नोट पे थोड़ी सी बात करना चाहूंगा कि भाई कुकिंग इज इजी बट वॉशिंग द यूटेंसिल इज डिफिकल्ट। दैट्स व्हाई व्हेन इट कम्स टू हस्बैंड वॉशिंग यूटेंसिल, ओके, वी नेवर से कि भाई खाना बना रहा है बंदा, है ना, बिकॉज दैट इज द डिफिकल्ट टास्क, राइट? बट वॉशिंग द यूटेंसिल इज डिफिकल्ट। सो सिमिलरली लेक्चरिंग इज इजी बट कंडक्टिंग असेसमेंट इज डिफिकल्ट। ठीक है ना? तो असेस करना, आपको पढ़ाना आसान है, लेकिन when it comes to assessment, it is bit difficult, right? So not all students own responsibility of for their learning, but given the competing pressure on students, time in a digital age, most successful learners focus on what will be examined and how they can most effectively meet the assessment requirements. अब इसके लिए क्या करते हैं बच्चे? पिछले 4 साल के पेपर निकालते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी के, उसमें से उनको 80% क्वेश्चन पेपर मिल जाता है। ठीक है, एंड दैट इज हाउ वी सेट द पेपर्स, राइट? ओके, so therefore decision about method of assessment will in most contexts be fundamental to building effective learning environment. तो जिस चीज को अपन ने सबसे सीरियस लेना चाहिए असेसमेंट को, उसको अपन मेरे हिसाब से जनरल बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम नॉट सेइंग, मे बी सम ऑफ यू आर रियली ग्रेट टीचर्स, okay? So with due respect to all of you, what I am trying to emphasize is when it comes to assessment, many times we are casual, right? We are casual in our approach, right? So we set question papers very casually. I have seen people setting a question paper within minutes, I should say. So how come this is possible? 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Okay, you refer last 2-3 years paper and take certain questions randomly, and the only thing you take care of is unit 1, unit 1, unit 2, unit 2, something like that, right? Whether it is within the syllabus or not, right? That is what is the objective. So let us move ahead. What is this is what was our focal point, right? That is the technology enabled assessment, or it is called as T. I think it's 3:30, right? So it's tea time. Okay, so all of you will enjoy this. That is, it encompasses the use of computers to deliver, mark, assess and analyze assignment, right? तो आज अपन देखेंगे यहाँ पे, मैं आपको कुछ tools बताऊंगा. I will demonstrate some of the tools online. These tools are again suitable for objective testing, okay, which includes MCQs, that is multiple choice question, match the following, maybe true or false, or put it in simple for the questions that have a clear correct or incorrect answer, right? ठीक है ना? तो objective type of testing, then there is subjective testing, okay, that is again we will just try to have a look at, okay, and we will just try to I'll just expose you certain things, okay? Those who are connected on maybe your laptop or desktop, they can try hands-on those things, right? They can try hands-on those things. So again, types of assessment, I'll not go into the diagnostic. The purpose of assessment may be diagnostic, may be summative, which is normally taken place at the end of the semester, right? or diagnostic assessment. Many times you conduct surprise test or maybe other tools mechanism, right? So that is there. And there is normally an integrative assessment, okay, which is you can say normally a cumulative CGPA and so on, right? So these are the types of assessment, okay. Now what are the tools for assessment? ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा theoretical foundation अपना हो गया है. यहाँ पे अगर आप लोगों की, if you have anything in your mind which you feel that is to be discussed before moving further, okay, we can spend some 5-10 minutes. I have tried my level best. I'll just try to sum up what I have shared with you. I think I've started with what is the psychology of learning, what is teaching, learning, assessment, what is pedagogy, andragogy, right, and so on and so forth, right. And then we have gradually moved to what is Bloom's taxonomy, what are the 3 domains of learning, right. So what is teaching, learning, training? Again, we have tried to digest these things, okay. And then gradually I think we have moved to Bloom's taxonomy, wherein we have seen 6 levels of you can say the learning, knowledge, starting from knowledge to creativity, and then revised Bloom's taxonomy, okay, wherein only the noun has been changed to action verbs, okay, and 5th and 6th level interchange, right. Then affective and cognitive domain, okay, those things again we have discussed a little bit. Then we have moved to what is assessment, what is assessment and evaluation, okay, and what are the tools for assessment. So these are the various tools which one can use for assessment. But before moving ahead with these tools, I would love to take some questions if there are any. So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can fire it now, or otherwise we will move ahead with the tools. I'll take a pause for a minute. Any questions? 76 participants are there. The number is a huge number. So anyway, I don't think that. Yes, sir. Adaskar, sir. Whether you can unmute yourself or I need to unmute you. I don't know whether anybody is there from the MMTC side. The participant, whether you can unmute yourself. There are 2 possibilities. Anyway, chaliye. So under diagnostic tools, what is there is Google Forms, hot potatoes and plickers. ठीक है ना. तो इसमें से आज अपन गूगल फॉर्म तो आप लोगों में से बहुत सारे लोग यूज करते हैं, है ना. मेरे ख्याल से असेसमेंट के लिए आप करते होंगे गूगल क्लासरूम, गूगल फॉर्म्स, राइट. दी अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट टूल इज द हॉट पोटैटो एंड द थर्ड वन इज द प्लिकर्स. तो ये सब तो नहीं देख पाएंगे अपन, एक एक दो दो देखते हैं हर इसमें से. हॉट पोटैटोज वी विल हैव इन डिटेल, राइट. देन दिस इज फॉर डायग्नोस्टिक, राइट. फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट यू हैव क्लास किक, हॉट पोटैटोज, आंसर गार्डन, ये अपन थोड़ा सा देखेंगे ऑनलाइन. And for summative assessment tool, once again you can use hot potatoes. तो hot potatoes common दिख रहा है आप जहाँ जहाँ देखेंगे. तो that's why we will use this particular, I will rather demonstrate this particular tool in greater detail. ठीक है. और फिर feedback के लिए Classic, Flipgrid, ePortfolio, right? For collaborative assessment, learning assessment, again Flipgrid is there, ePortfolio is there. So all these tools are there, right? Tools for assessment, right? Now, before going to directly to the tools, okay, this is a model which is typically used for identifying whether a particular tool is a standard tool or not. It is, in short, it is called as the SAMR model, SAMR model, right? It is basically developed by Dr. Rubin, okay, and it is a framework, okay, So if your tool, whatever tool you are using, if it satisfies the SAMR criteria, which is in terms of 4 parameters. One is the substitution, second is the augmentation, and third and fourth one is the modification and redefinition. ठीक है ना? So substitution means student can fill out the forms online. Now, if you just try to apply this criteria to Google form, okay, and just see whether it satisfies this particular criteria or not, right? So substitution, student can fill out the forms online. Yes, Google form, it is very much possible. Augmentation, teachers can curate the student responses on the spreadsheet automatically. Again, that is possible in Google form. Okay. Modification, teachers and student can collaboratively analyze, contrast, and compare results immediately after individuals fill out the forms. And then you have redefinition, that is, teachers can reach unlimited learner. Again, that is possible in Google form, right? There is no limit as such. Okay, you can reach out to thousands of students in a single go. ठीक है ना? So that's why Google form, we can claim that it satisfied the SAMR criteria. So whatever tools which we are going to discuss, which rather I will demonstrate here, okay, they satisfy this SAMR model or SAMR model criteria, right? What I mean to say, that's why I am claiming that they are all standard tool, right? They are all standard tool. So the very first tool, as I have told you, is the hot potatoes. Okay. So hot potatoes is basically a bundle of tool which is comprised of, I should say, 6 different utilities. One is the JQuiz, ठीक है, which can be used for creating a quiz. ये अपन देखेंगे 2 मिनट में. तो मैं सिर्फ just I am briefing you about this particular tool. This tool we will extensively, rather we will have a look at this particular tool in by means of demonstration, right, in this session itself, right? So JQuiz for quiz, JClose for fill in the blanks, JCross for the crossword puzzle, JMatch for match the following sort of questions, JMix for jumbled sentence, wherein you can ask the student to organize the sentence in a particular order. And the last one, that is the 6th one, is basically a JMasher, which is typically used for whatever 5 unit you have created. You can create those 5 unit as a single bundle, right? As a simple single unit. Okay, JMasher. That's why the name JMasher. So this hot potato tools is if you can see, that is when I have talked about the types of assessment tools. It comes under summative, integrative, and whatnot, right? So that's why we will have a look at this particular tool. This is a typical, you can say, the screenshot. ये अपन करके देखेंगे, ठीक है? ये दूसरा है, ठीक है? This is quiz. We will see how to create quiz using JQuiz. Okay. This is fill in the blanks sort of exercise. That is, again, we will have a look at. Okay. This is the crossword. We will just try to create some crossword using, you can say, JCross. Okay. And the 5th one is the matching exercise, match the following. Okay. Then this jumbled sentence wherein I was talking about, that is, you can organize these statements in a, you can ask the student to organize them in a particular order. Okay. And accordingly, it will be evaluated. So to sum up, basically, these are the 2 takeaways from this particular session, right? So we need to know, first of all, while framing the question, okay, we need to know at which level we are working. I'm talking about the Bloom's level. Okay, whether you are at the 5th level or the 6th level or the 1st level or the 2nd level. Okay, that is there, and your objectives should be always to move to the higher level from the bottom, that is 1st to 6th level, right? If these 2 things are the, you can say, the key takeaways as far as this session is concerned, right? So this is all about the, you can say, the theoretical aspects of what I intend to share with you, right? So this first session, I hope it is almost done from my end, right? Intentionally, I am keeping 5-10 minutes, okay, so that I can take up certain questions if there are any. So I will be happy to answer your queries. अगर आपके कुछ सवालात हैं तो अवश्य पूछें, मुझे खुशी होगी. एनीबडी हु विश टू चैट बॉक्स में क्या चल रहा है भाई? 120. यस सर. सर आपला आवाज खूप कमी येतोय. Now I am looking at it. Whether you are not able to hear me? Hello? आता माझा आवाज येतो का तुम्हाला? Sorry. Can you hear me properly right now? Hello? 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 Am I audible now? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? I hope I am audible to all of you. Any one of you, please respond at least in the chat box so that I can realize whether I am really audible or not. Can you hear me now? Hello? Yes. सर आप सुन पा रहे हैं मुझे? हेलो? हेलो? Can you hear me? Yes or no? You can hear me? Okay. But you people are not audible to me. Any one of you can unmute yourself. Now I am allowing you to unmute yourself. Any one of you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
You are audible,
audible.
आवाज आ पा रही है आपको? मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है?
Yes, अच्छी
Yes,
तरह
sir,
से
आ
आ
रही है,
रही है।
क्लियर आवाज आ रही है आपकी।
नहीं, पहले आप में से किसी ने मैसेज डाला कि सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी। अभी
नहीं,
फिलहाल
पूरे
ठीक है?
सेशन में सर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया, पूरा आवाज अच्छी
Yes,
तरह
sir,
से
yes, sir, okay.
अभी देखिए जरा, अभी जरा कंफर्म करिए मुझे।
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
अब आ रही है आवाज आपको मेरी?
Yes, clear.
Yes, sir, clear एकदम।
क्लियर है ना? चलिए, मुझे वही लगा।
Yes,
मैं
sir,
थोड़ा
clear।
सा मैं सोच रहा हूँ पूरा 1.5 घंटा हो गया और अब आप बोल रहे हैं कि आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर आपकी।
नहीं क्लियर था
Yes,
सर आवाज आपका।
जी जी। तो मैडम एक थोड़ा सा 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं ताकि मैं थोड़ा सा पानी और आप लोग भी चाय पीजिए। थोड़ा 5 मिनट बाद अगेन
Yes, no problem.
मीटिंग को एंड नहीं करते हैं। विद इन 4 to 5 minutes आई विल बी बैक इफ यू
Yes.
अलाउ। ओके, चलेगा?
Yes,
ठीक
sir.
है?
yes, sir।
Yes, sir.
चलिए चलिए, थैंक यू।
चालू आहे, आत्ता लावलं एवढ्यात.
हॅलो.
मॅडम वेट करा, ब्रेक आहे.
ओके सर, ओके, थँक्यू.
मैडम 2 मिनट से I hope. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes sir.
Welcome back.
Yes.
चलिए, तो शुरू करते हैं. What I have told you, that is, I will be demonstrating some of the tools, right? So we'll start with hot potatoes. How many of you have heard this particular tool? Any one of you? If you, may be possible that some of you must be using it. That's why I'm asking. Have you heard this particular tool? Any one of you? I think I have given you privilege to unmute yourself. Now anybody can unmute if I am not wrong. Unmute कर पाएंगे आप या नहीं?
यस सर.
हाँ, तो आप में से किसी ने यूज किया है इस टूल को?
Tools we learn. Hello.
हाँ, यस सर, बोलिए.
Sir, we have learned these tools as well as your domains of learning. Being a agriculture doctorate, we have the course of extension education, in which these words as well as the terminology we have heard, and sometimes we use. But I personally very appreciate by you, sir, as a presenter or as a speaker, that you have dictate very nicely, and as we realize our college days.
Okay, okay, okay.
Sir, thank you, sir.
चलिए,
Thank you very much, sir.
चलिए, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
So,
sir.
but still, I'll give the demonstration. Okay, you are the exception, I hope, but other people will love to see that is how these tools works basically. Right?
Yeah.
है ना?
Yes.
तो अपन थोड़ा सा देखते हैं सर डिटेल में, ठीक है? और इस पे
Yes.
हैंड्स ऑन करेंगे कुछ, तो शायद आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा और इंटरेस्टिंग लगे, ठीक है? तो आई एम शेयरिंग माय एंटायर स्क्रीन.
Yes, sir.
जी, आपको दिख पा रहा है, मेरा स्क्रीन दिख पा रहा है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
चलिए, चलिए, अब अपन सिंपल गूगल करते हैं, है ना? गूगल से शुरुआत करनी पड़ती है, राइट? नाउ इफ यू टाइप हॉट पोटैटोज 7, हॉट पोटैटोज 7 डाउनलोड, ठीक है? सो होम पेज हॉट पोटैटोज पे लेके जा रहा हूं मैं आपको, है ना? दोपहर का वक्त है. ठीक है? सो दिस इज अ स्मॉल यूटिलिटी और इसका लेटेस्ट जो वर्जन चल रहा है वो 7.0 है, ठीक है ना? तो आपने देखा मैंने क्या किया, सिर्फ हॉट पोटैटोज एंड दिस इज द यूआरएल, दोज हु विश दे कैन keep this particular thing with them, that is https hotpot.uvic.ca, ठीक है ना? अगेन एक एकेडमिक साइट से अपन काम कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो दिस इज यूनिवर्सिटी वेबसाइट, ओके, वेर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर टूल इज फ्रीली अवेलेबल. सबसे ब्यूटी इसकी ये है कि आपको इसके लिए आपको कुछ पैसे नहीं देने हैं, ठीक है? आपको कुछ पैसे देने नहीं है और इसको आप बड़े इत्मीनान से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. यू कैन डाउनलोड इट and the latest version as I have told you is the hot potato 7. जैसे ही आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे एक छोटी सी एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल डाउनलोड हो जाएगी, उसको आपको रन करना है. रन करने के बाद अभी मैं आपको डायरेक्ट मैंने वो कर लिया है, ठीक है? आप में से जो करके देखना चाहते हैं वो आपकी मशीन पे ट्राई कर सकते हैं और मेरे साथ में करके भी देख सकते हैं. अभी मैंने वो इंस्टॉल कर चुका हूं, इसलिए मैं आपको डायरेक्ट यहाँ से एग्जीक्यूट करके बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है? ये स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रहा है आपको हॉट पोटैटोज?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चलिए, तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा, एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू, दैट इज देयर आर 6 different utilities इंक्लूडिंग दिस मैशर, ठीक है ना? तो मैशर का काम क्या है? बेसिकली आपने जो 5 एक्सरसाइजेस आप जो बनाओगे, जे क्लोज, जे मैच, जे क्विज, जे क्रॉस से, ठीक है ना? ये 5 एक्सरसाइज का एक सिंपल यूनिट आप, वन सिंगल यूनिट आप बना के रख सकते हैं, ठीक है ना? मैशर इज यूज फॉर दैट. अपन देखेंगे प्रैक्टिकली करके कि कैसे यूज करते हैं इन चीजों को. तो लेट अस स्टार्ट विथ जे मैच, ठीक है ना? तो आई एम सिंपली क्लिकिंग ऑन जे मैच. नाउ एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट दिस इज used for creating a match the following sort of exercise, ठीक है ना? Match the following, this is the title I am giving you. मैंने क्या किया, आपको अगर थोड़ा सा फास्ट हो रहा है तो मैंने सिर्फ जे मैच पे क्लिक किया, उसके बाद में ये स्क्रीन आता है आपका, ठीक है? सो मैच द फॉलोइंग. नाउ आई कैन put certain things over here, say for example लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, लेट अस से अभी देखते हैं कुछ बनाते हैं. लेट्स से नागपुर, ओके. सेकंड इज लेट अस से अमरावती, ओके. थर्ड वन लेट अस से सोलापुर, ओके. एंड द फोर्थ वन इज कोल्हापुर. Now we will write down for which these places are famous. So Nagpur by default is famous for oranges, right? Amravati is for cotton market, right? Cotton or cotton industry you can say. ठीक है? Solapur for textile industry. Okay. And Kolhapur, let's say leather industry. ठीक है? सर बीच में भी आप रोक सकते हैं मुझे अगर लगता है आपको तो. इसको अपन सेव करते हैं. यहाँ पे अपन ने सेव नहीं किया, एक्चुअली इसको सेव करना चाहिए आपने पहले. तो जे मैच 1 पे सेव करते हैं इसको. Okay, I am overwriting the existing.
संजय मैडम बनते हैं.
Yes, sir. Please unmute yourself, right? So this is what I have done. ठीक है ना? Match the following की एक exercise बना रहे हैं अपन. ठीक है? अब now if you look at this, यहाँ पे आपको help मिलता है. Okay, then you have what is called as the configuration screen. Okay, and this is the file name I have given, match1.jmt. Okay, that is match1.jmt. Okay, अब यहाँ पे क्लिक करते हैं. Okay, but I request you to unmute yourself. If you have any query, you can ask. Otherwise, unmute yourself. So, sorry, mute yourself, please. Okay. Anyway, so let us say I want to change the appearance. At present, this is the preview how it will look like. अब यहाँ पे मैं करता हूँ इसका थोड़ा सा कलर चेंज करते हैं अपन. Okay, ब्लू कर दिया अपन ने. Okay, let us make it green.
Sir, sorry, sir.
हाँ बोलिए.
Sir, Rajesh Wagh, who is not mute his mic and is disturbing the whole session.
Sorry, what's the name? Rajesh
Wagh.
Wagh. Acha.
Yeah.
So I need to check it out. But right now there are no disturbances coming as far as I know. I think he must have muted himself. Or you are still, I am not able to hear anything. Is this okay now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
चलिए तो आगे बढ़ते हैं. We were talking about that is how you can configure this. I hope I am loud and clear. I am audible, I hope, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
चलिए ओके. तो अभी मैंने क्या किया, इसके थोड़े कलर्स चेंज किए और कुछ भी नहीं. यहाँ पे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन मेनू में इतना ही है. ठीक है, आप इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हैं. वॉट एवर कलर यू फील लाइक. ओके, हाउ इट शुड लुक लाइक, वो सब चीजें यहाँ की अपने ये कॉन्फ़िगरेशन से गए थे अपन. राइट हैंड सेकंड बटन. ओके, आफ्टर दिस हेल्प द वेरी फर्स्ट बटन आई शुड से दिस इज द कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. गो टू कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. ओके, नाउ आई विल बिल्ड दिस एक्सरसाइज. ओके, बिल्ड करने के लिए क्या है, एक्सपोर्ट टू क्रिएट अ हॉट पोटैटो. Okay, now I will click on this. Okay, this as you can see the other things are you are very much familiar with, that is open, save and so on, right? अभी मैं इस पे जा रहा हूँ, export to create a hot potato version 7. इस पे क्लिक किया मैंने. Okay, I am saying jmatch1. इसको फिर से सेव करता हूँ. Yes बोल दीजिए. Okay, ब्लैंक स्पेस की वजह से कुछ एरर दे रहा है, but that doesn't make any difference. Okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now view the exercise in my browser. Okay, now I will just have a look at that is how this exercise will look like. So view the exercise in my browser. All right. So this is how I have created, that is match the following matching exercise. Okay. Now under Nagpur, I will get all those 4 options. I can select the correct one. Let's say orange. Okay, Amravati is for let us say cotton industry. Solapur for textile industry, and the 4th one is leather industry, Kolhapur. Let us check the answer. 100% correct. ठीक है ना? So this way you can create a matching exercise using JMatch. I hope it is clear to you. इसमें आप बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हैं. You can even create a timer as well. Okay, आप इसमें टाइमर भी दे सकते हैं. Okay. So let us go to this configuration menu once again. This one. Configuration में अगर आप यहाँ देखें तो there is a tab called timer. Now I can assign time to this exercise. Maybe let's say 2 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever I feel like. Okay, let us make it 5 minutes. Okay, and then the message you wish to display on the screen after the time is up. So your time is over or your time is up or whatever you feel like appropriate. Thank you, goodbye, whatever. Right, that stuff you can type here and then click on OK. Okay, once again build it. Okay, this is the keyboard shortcut is. Okay, so JMatch, save, yes, and go to the exercise. Now, as you can see here, this timer is being displayed here, 4:58, 57, it is ticking. Okay. So I hope this is okay. Okay. All right. So this is check the answer. Well done. So this is the very first utility which I think we have seen. Now let us go to the another utility. I request all of you to mute yourself. Okay, please don't discuss so that the others are getting disturbed for that. I request once again. Right. Now let us try to create a what should I say? J cross. J cross में आपने एक आधा आपको ये क्रिएट करना है. ठीक है, puzzle that you can create here. So what I am doing, I have clicked on what? I have clicked on J cross first. Okay, this screen will appear moment you click. Right? यहाँ पे आपको आना है manage grid and use the automatic grid maker. Okay, use automatic grid maker. Okay, then use whatever you feel like. The keywords you are supposed to enter here. Say for example, sister. Okay, then tour. Then let's say UK. Then let's say hint. Oh, sorry. These are the three keywords. Let's say, and I will ask it to make the grid. So make the grid. Now it has made the grid for me. I can add the clues, just like in newspaper you have all these, right? So you can write down you can say hint for sister is a female sibling. Okay. Then UK is let's say European country. Right. And let us give this tour as trip. Click on OK. Click on OK. Now this is all done. At present it is showing untitled because I have not saved it. Okay, so you need to save it first. Let us go for this file, save, and say J cross. Okay, so I have saved it J cross. Now this jcross.htm.jcw is appearing here. Okay, so this has been created. Now on the parallel line you can change the appearance and all those things. That is again very much possible here. So I will just go for few changes. All right. ठीक है. Pick any color, whatever you feel appropriate. Okay. And then simply click on OK. And let's say set a timer as well if you feel like. So go to timer. Okay, set. You need to click on this for setting up the timer, and you can increase it depending upon your requirement. Okay, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, and then click on OK. Now let us try to put it in practice. That is how it will look like and so on. So build it. That is this export to create hot potato version 7 web page. Okay, J cross. Okay, and once again I will have a look at. Now this is the exercise and the timer as well, it is there. Okay, अब यहाँ पे आपको क्या करना है, जैसे कि कीवर्ड नंबर 1. Now you have to type. You can get the hint if you click on this. Okay. So female sibling is sister. Hit enter key. Then click on 2. Write down tour, T-O-U-R. Hit enter key. Click on 3rd. Write on, say, European country is UK, United Kingdom. Hit enter key and check the answers. So correct, well done. Your score is 100%. Right. So we have created a crossword using JCross. ठीक है ना? Crossword using JCross. Is this okay? Let us move ahead with one more utility. Again, I will invoke hot potato. So we have seen this JMatch and JCross. Okay. Now let us try to create a quiz using this. Okay, JQuiz. Okay, so this is how the screen will look like in case of JQuiz. I hope it is visible to you. You need to give the title, quiz exercise. Okay. Question number 1, you can type here. Let's say, in which year did the World Wide Web publicly accessible? Okay, now if you look at this right hand side, you will find that there are various possibilities here. One is the multiple choice. You can even have short answer. You can have hybrid, and you can have multi-select option. That is more than one correct option. Again, that is possible. Okay, let us go ahead with MCQ, that is multiple choice question. Okay, write down the answer as 1983, B as 1991, C as 1995, and D as 2000. Okay. Now I can select the correct answer here. So let's say the correct answer is 1995. Okay. Now the beauty of this is that is there is no limit, logically speaking, there is no limit to the number of question you can set. 1000, 2000, 10,000. So you can start and build your you can say question bank. Okay, and this is a one-time exercise. Once it is done, okay, your rest of your life you can enjoy, right? So this is one-time exercise, as I said. That is, this way you can have n number of questions. You can go for question number 2 by simply clicking on this. Okay, you can create the another question like, say, the standard markup language. Used to create web pages is called. Okay, once again, let us go ahead with MCQs. That is, let us say CSS or HTML or XML, HTML, XML or SQL. Okay, let us say the correct answer is XML. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll save it once again, file, save. Okay, JQuiz exercise, save. Yes, I'm overwriting it. Okay, then once again this appearance and all. I will not go into again all those things again and again, but let us change few colors so that it will increase the visibility. Okay, that is the only objective. Okay. Timer I will not set. Okay. Now I am going to, yes, sir. Export to create this exercise. So J quiz, exercise, save, yes. And now let us look at it. Okay, these are the two questions. Timer I have not set, that's why the screen is appearing like this. Let us assume that this is the correct answer. So it is saying okay. And then question number 2, you can simply get by simply clicking on this arrow, left arrow or right arrow. Let us say it is XML. Answer is correct. Okay. So we have created quiz, we have created crossword, we have created match the following. Okay. And there are few more. That is, what should I say? Jumbled sentence exercise is there. That again on parallel line you can create. But if you feel like, I will demonstrate. Okay. I'll go for the demonstration of that as well. So this is JMix. Okay. So you can define certain sentences here and you can jumble them. You can ask the student to order them. Say jumbled sentence exercise, है ना? तो इसमें भी आप कुछ exercise define कर सकते हो. You can define the event, that is I woke up in the morning. एक सिर्फ इसमें आपको इतना ही ध्यान रखना है कि एक सेंटेंस आपका एक स्टेटमेंट में आना चाहिए, एक लाइन में आना चाहिए. At 6 a.m. then did some exercise. And my bath, we took bath, you can say. Had breakfast. ठीक है, इस पे नहीं डालते हैं डायरेक्ट. लेट अस गो टू सेव jumbled sentence exercise, save, yes, okay, and let us create this. All right. Okay. So this is what is happening. Now I can ask the student to arrange them. Okay. So you can have restart. Okay. Hint. Okay. The next correct part is I woke at 6 a.m. Whatever. Right. This is just for the sake of example. Okay. So you can have a jumbled exercise by means of this. Okay. Again, timer, color combination, the method remains same. So I will not repeat those things. Now what is left is, I think it is almost done. Okay. The last one is the masher. Okay. So let us have a look at masher. That is how you can use masher. Hot potatoes. Go to the masher. Masher, as you can see, 2 boots are there and 5 potatoes are there. So you can match them into a single unit. ठीक है ना? तो अब क्या कर रहे हैं अपन यहाँ मैशर में जा रहे हैं, तो it will ask you, that is, this is the default screen. Okay, you can simply add files here. Whatever exercise, 4-5 exercise you have created, you can add all those files here. Okay, let us go ahead with randomly. I am picking up, so it may happen that the result will be somewhat random. So, okay, so don't confuse. Okay, I am opening up all these things. Okay, I am saying okay to all. Right. And at the bottom, I am sorry, I request the participant to mute themselves. Okay, it is disturbing others. So as I have told you, that is, this is typically used for building a unit. Okay, so you can build a unit. This is the bottom line. You have a unit over here. Okay, so it is giving, yeah, now it is building up the one single unit of all those 5 exercises.
हेलो
As
इराज
here-
सर एंड मनीषा मैम प्लीज अनम्यूट करिए.
Manisha madam, please mute करिए आप, please. Okay. So would you like to view the unit now? Say yes. ठीक है ना? अब ये रैंडमली मैंने पिक किया, नहीं तो यहाँ पे आपके 4-5 एक्सरसाइजेज जो आपने बनाई है वो आएगी यहाँ पे. अब नाउ लेट्स से आई एम सेइंग मैच द फॉलोइंग, तो ये मैच वाली एक्सरसाइज पहले आ गई. ठीक है, ऐसी सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ. So I hope hot potatoes is clear to you. Now, if any one of you are having any questions or doubt, you can fire it now. इस टूल की जो ब्यूटी है, मैंने कहा आपको, this it complies to the SAMR model, right? Meaning thereby it is a standard tool which can be used for assessment purposes. Second thing is it is free. Free means completely free. Okay, it is completely free. You need not have to buy it. You need not have to pay a single pie for it. Okay. The second tool I am going to demonstrate is basically a net version, that is internet version of the same tool. Okay, which we will see. Okay, but if you have any questions with regard to this, you can fire it now. किसी को कुछ पूछना है इस बारे में जो अपन ने देखा?
नो सर, ऑल क्लियर. आपने बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से समझाया.
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू. चलिए ठीक है, तो अब थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं. अब थोड़ा ऑनलाइन टूल देखते हैं. लेट अस गो फॉर ए टूल कॉल्ड सॉकेरेटिव. ठीक है, मेरा स्क्रीन आपको दिखाई दे रहा है, आई होप. ओके, यहाँ आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, गूगल पे जाइए, गो फॉर अ टूल कॉल्ड सॉकेरेटिव, SOCRATIVE, सॉकेरेटिव. ओके, ठीक है. अब ये यहाँ पे आप बोलेंगे कि सर ये तो सब ऑनलाइन बड़े आसानी से हो जाएगा, लेकिन यहाँ पे ग्लिच ये है कि दिस इज नॉट अ फ्री टूल. इट इज फ्री विथ सम लिमिटेड फंक्शनैलिटी, but let's say if you want to use it to the fullest extent, you have to.
अटेंडेंस खाली मूल चेंज मंतना आते हैं, चार्टेड पार्ट जाते हैं.
Madam, please. मेरे ख्याल से I have created problem by authorizing you to unmute yourself. But the idea was that is you can interact, right? You can interact. If you feel, if you have any doubts, you can ask and sir.
చాలా బర్డ్ అలా మూడు ఫుల్ ఆఫ్ పక్కా.
Madam, please mute yourself. I don't know who is speaking. Okay. तो ये सॉकेरेटिव जो टूल है, इसमें फिर से अपन 5 एक्सरसाइजेस बनाएंगे. The exercises which we have seen in the earlier case, same thing. Now, if you look at the login, there are 2 types of login. One is the teacher login.
सर आपका माइक ऑन कीजिए. हेलो. आस्क करो.
मला नाही वाटत ते आपल्याला
चलिए, I hope I am audible now.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
ठीक है.
Yes, yes. You can continue, sir.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू. चलिए, तो ये जो टूल्स आप देख पा रहे हैं, इसमें फिर से क्विज बना सकते हैं आप, राइट? स्पेस रेस इज देयर, exit ticket is there, then multiple choice question you can create quick questions, you can create short answer type of question. But as I have told you, that is, this tool is basically free up to a minimum extent. But let's say you want to use it for the fullest extent, you have to pay some money for it. So if you can see here, Get Pro. So this Get Pro is a paid version of this. Right now, I am not having a paid version of this. Okay. So that's why I have demonstrated the free tool, that is the hot potato, in the beginning. Right. Now, in this case, what you need to do is you need to share this room address. That is Atique 6972 is the room address. This you need to share with your student. Okay. And you can launch, you can see the live activities, you can launch the quiz and so on. Okay. So let's say, now the beauty of this particular tool is it can create automatically quiz for you. That is, it is AI enabled functionality is there. You need to simply specify the topic. Let's say I want to create a NEP 2020 quiz on NEP 2020. So it will show me, rather it will set all 10-20 questions on the NEP 2020 and along with the answer and the correct answer as well. ठीक है ना? So this is what I have created. So this is the launch screen. Okay. Now you can launch this particular tool in this particular quiz can be launched in various ways, right? One is the instant feedback, second is the open navigation, and the third one is the teacher based. Okay. So anyone you can select based on your requirement. Okay. You may have instant feedback or whatever you feel like. Then you can even set the settings as you can hide the names of the student. Okay. You can shuffle the questions. You can shuffle the answer. So that is again possible. Shuffling answer is, it is good. Okay. Because even if the student are sitting side by side, they will not be able to see the correct answer and so on. Now show the question feedback. Again, show final score, and one attempt of pro is free. Only one attempt is free. Okay. Rest all you have to buy it. Okay. Then you go for launch. Now it is starting the activity, as you can see here. Now this quiz is being launched. Moment you launch this quiz, this is the real life, you can say the live result, it is going on. Any one of you, let's say if you try and log in using a student login, simply type in Google, okay, Socrative student login, and there it will ask you to enter the this particular student room number. Okay. So there if you type Atique 6972, you will be taken up directly to this particular course, and I will be able to see the responses here. Right. So this is again a very powerful tool which can be used for creating live quizzes. Okay. Live quizzes wherein you may have MCQs and all those whatever I have demonstrated you with the help of a hot potato. Right. Same things are here. Okay. That is again possible. I can even invite student. I can put share this QR code. Even with the help of this QR code, the student can join this particular session. Okay. So you can very well join using this particular tool. Okay. This QR code facility is there. The only thing, the only con as far as this particular tool is concerned, that is, it is paid. It is not free. Now I can see the reports here. Okay. Reports of various tests, whatever I have conducted. Okay. This is the report. Okay. This is NEP 2020. All those reports I can see. I can create additional rooms. Let's say if I am having 2-3 classes, but again, that is a paid version. Okay. If you want to add rooms, it will ask you for, go for a pro version. Okay. Let us try to click this. Okay. It is saying upgrade to add more rooms. So it gives you limited functionality, as I have told you. Okay, when it is a free version. If you want to have a paid version, you have to have some money. Okay, then you can get it. Okay, so this is the second tool which I wanted to demonstrate. That is the soccer review. Again, it complies to all the requirement of a SAMR model, meaning thereby it is a standard. ठीक है, अब थोड़ा सा यहाँ से बाहर निकलते हैं और स्टूडेंट लॉगिन देखते हैं, है ना. लेकिन मैं एक ही मशीन से लॉगिन नहीं हो पाऊंगा. मेरा टीचर लॉगिन, सॉकेरेटिव, स्टूडेंट लॉगिन. Okay, so as I was talking about, that is here it will ask me the room number, wherein Atique 6972 is my room number. Okay, I can join the class. Okay, here I can type my name if I feel like. Let's say Atique. Done. Okay, these questions, whatever, I have launched a quiz called NEP 2020. So those questions will appear here. I can give my answer. Submit what are the proposed changes in higher education under NEP 2020. Okay, I can write down and then I can submit the answer, whatever I feel like. Okay, submit the answer. Okay, then it is a bundle. As I said, that is short answer, MCQs, all those things you can combine here, right? So which language policy does the National Education 2020 emphasizes? 3-language policy. Okay, English. Let us submit this answer. Okay, now it is not only giving me whether the answer is correct or not, along with the explanation. NEP 2020 emphasizes the 3-language formula, okay, to promote multilingualism and national unity. Okay, encouraging students to learn 3 languages with the flexibility in implementation. Okay, so this is how it is happening. That is the feedback is again coming, right? So this is the second tool. I have demonstrated both, right? One is completely free. The second one is free up to some limited extent, but you have to pay some additional money if you want to go for a pro version of that, right? That is the second thing, right? So this is the second tool. One more tool we will just have a look at, that is Answer Garden. Okay. So answergarden.ch is the URL for this. Okay. This can be used for brainstorming. Let's say in the beginning of the session, if I wanted to know what kind of, you can say, or I want to create some interest wherein I want to brainstorm you on a particular topic, I can very well use this particular tool. Okay, so let us go ahead with this Answer Garden. ठीक है, तो यहाँ जैसे देख पा रहे हैं आप, ठीक है, it is a tool which is used for feedback. Okay, it is minimalistic feedback tool. Why I'm saying minimalistic? Because it gives you the answer should be given in 20 or 40 words only, right? That's why minimalistic. Okay, so there is a add button. If you look at this plus, create an answer garden, simply click on this. Okay, so feedback for the session. Okay, you can have more options wherein you can have a brainstorm or a classroom environment or a moderator or logged. Okay, so again I can go for a free trial. Okay, it is paid. Okay, as I said, the answer length should be 20 or 40 characters at max. So either I can pick up 20 characters or the 40 characters. Okay, this is my admin password which I can set here. Okay, and then spam filter and so on, that is the lowercase, uppercase, all those settings are possible here. Go for create. Now I'm creating it. All right. So this answer garden I have created. So what I need to do, just like that classroom, I need to share the URL for this. That is, this is the number if you can see. So answergarden.ch /4224176. So if you click on this, okay, it will take you to this particular answer garden, wherein you can, let's say if I am sharing this with you and you are clicking in your browser, okay, and whatever 20 or 40 characters you type, all those things will appear here. Okay, and that is what is the philosophy. So I can take a vote on a particular topic, right? Okay, wherein I can see that the majority of you feel that this particular thing, it should be like this, something like that, right? So this is the fourth tool which I wanted to demonstrate with you, right? इसमें किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो you are welcome, you can very well ask. Okay, एक टूल और बचता है जो थोड़ा सा अपन ले लेते हैं, that is called as net logo. जितने भी टूल्स मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, these are all free and open source tools. So this net logo is one of them once again, right? Now, once again, if you look at the URL, you will find that it is a northeasternuniversity.edu, right? ccl.north. So these are all academic projects, right? These are all academic projects. You know? So this gives you an inspiration, that is how our academics goes and how the developed nation, how do they work, right? So this is a tool wherein, let's say if you want to demonstrate certain aspects. Now it covers everything. It is not only engineering technology, but you have almost arts and whatnot, right? The only thing is that you need to explore it, right? I am going for this, you can say the art, biology, right? I have clicked on library. Okay, I have clicked on library. Okay, then you have art, biology, okay, evolution, that is gen drift, and so on. So this is a simulation tool which demonstrate, you can say, which helps you to demonstrate certain concepts which are difficult to teach in the class. Okay, so you can use this particular thing as a complementary to your daily classroom teaching. ठीक है ना? So let us go to computer science. Okay, अब computer science में जैसे अब यहाँ देख रहे हैं आप artificial neural network, right? Multi-layer perceptron. So this is the model. Now, with regard to this model, everything has been documented here, right? So you can simply share this with your student. They can very well explore, that is how to use this particular tool. Okay, what is there in the tool and so on, right? So again, this is completely free and open source tool. Okay, let us try to. You can even download this, or you can try running net logo in the web. So we will run it on the web. ठीक है? तो अभी मैं वेब बेस्ड वर्जन रन कर रहा हूँ, इसको आप डाउनलोड भी कर सकते हो आप, इसमें इवन आपको सोर्स कोड भी मिलेगा प्रोग्राम, ठीक है? सो इवन द स्टूडेंट कैन डाउनलोड द सोर्स कोड, दे कैन प्ले विथ इट. Okay, here I can configure the model, that is I can go for a setup, okay, and then I can go for training. Moment I am training, you can very well see that visually the whatever happens during the training process of a multi-level perceptron, that is being presented here in a simulated environment. है ना? तो इस तरह के आप केमिस्ट्री की भी एक्सपेरिमेंट देख सकते हैं, फिजिक्स के भी देख सकते हैं, बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हैं यहाँ पे. ओके, एंड अगेन यू कैन फाइन ट्यून दिस विथ डिफरेंट पैरामीटर सेटिंग एज वेल, है ना? तो दिस इज अनदर पावरफुल टूल which you can very well exploit in your day-to-day teaching learning environment. ठीक है? So I think this is what is there. Now, if you have any queries, you can fire. Just tell me if you feel like asking any question with regard to whatever has been covered, you can fire it now. I hope I am audible and clear to you. So this is the fifth tool which I have demonstrated. So this way there are many actually. It is not only one of the tool which is again nowadays government is taking a lot of steps with regard to, that is the spoken tutorial by IIT Bombay. Okay, your university must have received letters in regard to using this spoken tutorial tool, right? So there are thousands, I should say. There are thousands of tools available. The only thing is that you need to have that will to learn all these things, okay? And how you can complement these things with regard to in your in your day-to-day teaching learning. That is the mantra, right? So any questions, or otherwise we'll move forward with something else. I don't know whether the biggest problem with this online teaching is you never know that whether you are audible or not, or is there any issue. So that is the biggest hurdle. Anyway, so the one part which I have tried to share with you is what are the various taxonomies, and that is what are various tools one can use, particularly online tools or software tool which you can use for evaluation and assessment. Okay, na? So these terms are, so this is there. Now let us move ahead with, I think we are left with again 40-45 minutes. So I don't think that I can. So if you have any queries, you can fire it now. Otherwise, we will move ahead with the another, I should say, the topic, because still we are left with around 30-35 minutes. Anything you would like to ask? See, there are two possibilities. One is, the second one I'll put a dot, right? So okay. Now there is a pin drop silence. So there are two possibilities. Either you people are with me, or
सर पार्टिसिपेंट को ना म्यूट किया है सर, तो उनको अनम्यूट करना है सर।
अनम्यूट कर दीजिए ना, अभी थोड़ा सा बात करते हैं इनसे। मैं
Yes,
तो बोल
yes.
चुका हूँ जितना बोलना है, ठीक है?
Yes.
या फिर और एक सेशन लेते हैं। थोड़ा सा प्लीज अनम्यूट करिए।
Sir, you are audible and your session is very informative.
Anything you would like to ask, I would love to answer.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Yes, ma'am, please.
I have a minor doubt. So for what purpose we should use Answer Garden? Because all the other tools you suggested are for quiz making and assessment. But for what purpose we should go and use Answer Garden?
Answer Garden. Okay, Answer Garden, I will elaborate little further. Answer Garden is basically used for brainstorming. है ना? आप जैसे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग में आपने एक क्लास में आप जाते हैं, जनरली यू एंटर इनटू द क्लास एंड यू राइट डाउन सिंपल क्वेश्चन ऑन द ब्लैक बोर्ड and ask everybody to answer, right? So that can be done in an online mode. And Answer Garden basically provides you facility for that online brainstorming. ठीक है ना? जैसा कि आपने अगर थोड़ा सा देखा होगा, I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching very keenly. So it was a minor doubt, so that's why I asked. Otherwise, all the points you elaborated was very comprehensive.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. May I
Thank
know
you,
who is
sir.
speaking, by the way?
Yeah, I'm Saudagar Alfia Samreen, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Maulana Azad College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Aurangabad, Maharashtra.
Achha, you are from Aurangabad itself. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Answer Garden is typically used for brainstorming. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Brainstorming.
Thank you so much.
Actually, it would have been better if all of you would have responded in a manner. For example, that link, if I share, you can very well see how the answers appearing on the screen. So whatever answer you give or the student give, they are populated on the screen itself. Again, so even it can be used for voting purposes. Okay, you toss whether the amendment to the constitution for XYZ purpose is correct or not, right? So something like this. Okay, normally we have all these sort of thing in your most of the time in your newspaper, Times of India, it appears. That is, they put a query to the you can say the readers, and based on the readers' responses, again they come up with different statistics. Well, 60% of them feel that it is correct, 40%, 30% feel that it is not correct, and 10% they are neutral. Right. So for that sort of, it is gathering a feedback from the student, right, on a particular topic or brainstorming. I hope it
Okay.
is clear to you.
Yes, sir. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? Actually, why? Actually, what is there? Actually, if I start another topic, okay, it will require minimum 1 hour. Okay, and I don't feel that it is already 5 o'clock, right? So within 25-30 minutes, I'll be able to finish it up. But I have some stuff as well on other topic as well. But I think it's better to stop here. But if you have any queries, just like Ma'am has asked that Answer Garden, Socrative is again is parallel to what we have seen with the help of hot potatoes. Okay, it is very parallel to that, Socrative. And the beauty of all these tools is that they are all standard tools. Right? They satisfy the SAMR model criteria, which is a standard criteria for assessment. Okay. So, shall I start a new topic, or now it is up to you to decide? Or if you have any queries, I'll try to answer them and then we'll stop. Now it is up to you to decide. You just tell me. I was planning for another session as well. That is, but as I said, that it will require minimum one hour or 1 hour 30 minutes or so, right? So I am leaving it to you to decide whether I should continue for again 1 hour or so, if you allow me, or otherwise we'll stop here. Okay, I'll take some few questions. Okay, I wanted to know basically whether you like the session or not. That is one thing. Most of the time we give only positive feedback, but if you feel that there are any things which needs to be improved, or any particular tool which you feel that I must elaborate in a greater detail, I'm ready for that. Okay, so this is all from my end. I don't know whether you can unmute yourself or not, but I think the moderator has allowed you to unmute. So if you have any queries, you can fire it now, or otherwise we'll stop here. I am stopping my sharing.
Hello, sir.
जी बोलिए सर.
Really was a wonderful experience to listen you, sir.
throughout the lecture you could linguistically speak very correctly, and
Sir,
that is highly impressive.
sir.
The problem is this, that the
Yes, sir.
teachers coming from all the subjects of art, commerce, and science,
Ji.
they feel rather little difficult to connect with ICT tools regarding which you spoke about. Beginning with Bloom's taxonomy, you reached up to Answer Garden. The whole journey was enjoyable to listen and
Thank you.
highly informative, with novelty and surprises also.
Thank you.
Sir, may I know how do you relate New Education Policy 2020 with ICT tools in the rural areas where yet computers, technology, mobile are highly impossible to be used by the students of rural area? How will you correlate New Education Policy and
Sir.
rural area education?
Sir,
Yeah.
I'll take it in this way. That is, the query you have fired is very true, and I do agree with you, whatever you have said. Right?
Yeah.
There are challenges, sir. But some
Yes,
way
sir.
or the other, we have to begin. Right?
Yeah.
So why not to begin today? That is what I will say. Okay, and
Of course.
there are issues. I am not saying, I am not denying that
Okay.
this is. Let's say if I am sitting in an air-conditioned room and I am devising the policy, so many times I ignore what are the ground realities, right? That is very much there, right?
Of course.
But sir, we need to change ourselves with the changing time. Otherwise, what will happen,
Yeah,
sir?
of course.
Otherwise, what will
Don't,
happen?
don't,
See, the government of India has opened the education sector, sir. Okay?
Government of Education, Government of India has already begun it.
Yes.
In Maharashtra, we see the Jhadki schools being closed, and the students are diverted towards English medium schools where facilities are there, ICT tools are there,
Yes, sir.
teachers acquainted with these facilities, and new education are also there.
Okay.
What about those teachers who are yet not known about these things, and still they are in service? They have been dealing with their classroom teaching,
Sir.
and they are not able to use these tools, which this new education policy expects the teachers to be used.
Sir, I understand your concern. I very much understand, as well as I agree with you, whatever you are saying. But again, I'll tell you that is we will face as a educationist, we are bound to face once the education sector will be open up for the foreign universities, sir. Then you will find your position little bit difficult, right? So undoubtedly, I am about to retire maybe in next 4 to 5 years, but that is not the scenario here. But particularly the young generation, they have to equip themselves with all these things. Otherwise, okay, so this AI and all, or the technology is touching everybody's life. So our jobs are becoming more challenging, sir, day by day.
Sir, don't you think that it's responsibility of government, all the states, to facilitate all the schools and colleges with ICT tools? And then it was expected to introduce this new policy.
Agreed, sir. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That is very much needed, sir. That is very much.
Of course, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
otherwise, what will happen, sir? It will bring a value of separation. The poor will remain poor, rich people will grow rich, and that will again divide.
I understand your concern, sir. I understand your concern, and whatever you are saying is very much correct. Okay, but as I said, that is someday or the other we have to have a beginning, right? So the idea of having this kind of these changes are inevitable. At least you will agree with me that is the changes are inevitable, right? If you will not change, definitely people will throw you out. I am not saying with due respect to all teachers, right? We will have a tough time ahead, sir. Okay. So what I personally feel is we need to change, sir.
We need to change. We will definitely change, sir.
Yes, sir.
But it's a prayer, hope to have equal opportunities for all to take.
Correct. Sir.
Yeah. Quality education.
Yes. For that, we require a lot of resources, sir. Particularly the financial resources are needed.
That's what, sir.
Yes, yes. I got your concern. Okay. And I do agree with you, whatever you are saying. Right. That is the area of concern which needs to be addressed by the policymakers. But nevertheless, okay, we have to start someday or the other. Let us start today and start changing ourselves. Right.
Yes. Hope to have good day, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Nice to hear you. May I know who was speaking right now? I'm not able to say your name.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Mukund Raj Pankhe from Ambajogai.
Ambajogai, अच्छा sir.
Yeah, head of the Department of English, Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Ambajogai.
Okay, okay, sir. Marathwada itself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Nice to hear you, sir. And I 100% agree with your thoughts. Whatever you have said is very much correct. And at whatever level I can put with my little bit effort, I'll try to convey your message to the authorities. Thank you, sir. Anything else? Okay, this is all from my end. I think it's time to say bye-bye to all of you. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Right. And I put on record my sincere thanks to the Director MMTC, Patil sir, along with Assistant Director Rafe sir, for giving me opportunity to interact with such a august gathering, I should say. Right. And with this note, I'll take your leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.